Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make him a throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part: if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Fools die for want of wisdom. Even if that wisdom is hidden in plain sight, they will still die for it. Even if you spoon feed them with that wisdom, they will still die for it because they are fools. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Chop, Melissa, Sustainable Development Growth Cities, the path for the future, the 2030 agenda. How do all these intertwine into each other? That is what we will be looking at this morning. My emotions are caught in a crossfire between anger, rage, and sadness, of which is riling more inside of me. That I cannot tell you, but I know my emotions are caught in a crossfire. And we have a lot of information to bring you this morning because we have to question everything. We can't just take things lying down so and act like and blame God for everything when we know men have capability to behave like God as well. So we're going to ask questions this morning and we're going to bring you information, and we're going to look back at a piece of information that I tackled the Prime Minister on in July of this year when he went down weeks after the KFC was open in Black River, and he went on a hissy fit. And you must remember I tackled him about the structure of the bridge he spoke about, and bypass and new city and Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. You would know that I'm not in a good headspace. I know that you are not in a good headspace either, because wherever we are as Jamaicans this morning, or descendant of Jamaicans, we definitely aren't in a good headspace. After that sustained atmospheric bombardment by the Americans, we mash up with country, particularly the southwestern belt of our country, from St. Elizabeth to West, on a mash up with country, America. And Donald Trump said he has not seen wind force like this before. Jankro, how you are going to see it when you have ordered maximum atmospheric attack on our country, Donald Trump? Oh, you are going to see it, Jankro? If it's the first when I test this level on a weaponry, Jankro, oh, you are going to see it? But we're going to look at a whole lots of different information.
I've never seen numbers like that. I saw a little while ago, 190 mile an hour wind. I've never seen that before. I've never seen.
We're going to look at whole lots of different information. But to this junker on screen, if no other president, if no other US president never attacked with so ferocious before, and you are so upset with us and annoyed with us since you're coming up power, you said Marco Rubio down the country and you do all sort of thing. Obviously, you don't want to threaten with bomb, so you do an atmospheric assault on us, Donald Trump, and you gave an order to turn it up. So when you talk, so you never see it before. Yes, Junker, you not go see it before because at the first, slow it down, turn up the power. To make sure when you clot, we hard. Look what you do to a country, America. And then America is going to roll in like the Mother Teresa with the GM food and the poison outdated medicine after America destroy our country. The private investors are standing by, rubbing their hand with glee, because after the assessment is done, I'm sure at some point your prime minister is going to tell you, because of how the infrastructure was battered and become fragile, we are going to have to demolish Black River. You remember that new city St. Elizabeth was going to turn into. I mean, you would want to create a mass city all the way from Junction to Black River and all of that, but you have to clot down that clot and restructure it, isn't it? Andrew Holness and Donald Trump, and you're all private investors in the Middle East, in India. Andrew, I wonder if the robot dogs, Prime Minister, will have a role to play in the rebuilding or the demolition or whatsoever. That's to come. Can I come back again, you know? And we're waiting after the assessment to see the change of information and direction. I don't understand why them play it somber from with your Prime Minister. You got St. Elizabeth. No, so you never go play politics. You got St. Elizabeth. You turn off your camera when you pass Westmoreland and you got Montego Bay. What was that, Prime Minister? You're not playing politics, are you? Prime Minister for the labor rights, them will win, but you're not Prime Minister for the PNP, them will win. Is that so? Let's listen to this Janko, even though we answered the Janko already. And then...
have you been following that?
Well, I have, because I've never seen numbers like that. I saw it a little while ago, 195 mile an hour wind. I've never seen that before. I've never seen, I guess it can get that high, but I've never seen it. And it's literally just, knocking down everything in front of it.
Is the United States going to?
Well, we have to. On a humanitarian basis, we have to. So we're watching it closely, and we're prepared to move. But it's doing tremendous damage. It's as we speak.
They're watching it closely, and they're prepared to move. We're going to take it back to their science. They're telling us about their science of creating mass hurricane before we go on to the whole HAARP issue.
Researchers are creating their own storms.
Before we go on to the whole HAARP issue. But your government, Andrew Holness, has sold us out. That's why they're playing the somber game. To know we can't even get an assessment of how much people died, because people died. People possibly got washed away. But we cannot get a possible assessment because of the assault that was carried out, the atmospheric assault that was carried out on our country by the Americans, who told us that they have the capability, the science and the technology to do it. This is the same America that dropped the atom bomb. This is the same America that bombed babies in Palestine to smithereen. This is the same America that goes around this world since its independence, destabilizing countries after countries after countries. Is it a coincidence that when Donald Trump is in his tirade, it's Cuban nurses, it's China investment, and then such an assault on Jamaica, such an unpredicted turn from a hurricane? We have to question. Let us remind ourselves of them telling us of their science.
Researchers are creating their own storms in a state-of-the-art lab. It could end up saving lives. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. This tank gives scientists and the rest of us a view no one has ever had before. What a hurricane's power looks like at water level as it storms ashore. In just 2 minutes, scientists here can take calm waters and turn them into a monster hurricane.
The wind is gradually getting stronger and stronger as it's coming up here, and it's ramping up to a Category 5. It's probably about a Category 3 right now.
This 75-foot-long tank is the first simulator in the world capable of creating a Category 5 hurricane over water. Brian House is the director of the University of Miami's new laboratory at the Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science. What was it like when you cranked it up the first time, full blast?
It was stunning. I mean, it was it was chilled.
Nearly 40,000.
It was chilled to create something that can create mass destruction. It was chill, he said. This is how cruel these murderers, these look like Jesus people. This is how cruel and murderous they are.
1,000 gallons of seawater fill this tank. House uses a computer program and a single 1,700 horsepower fan to whip wind speeds up to 157 miles per hour.
This tank is the largest wind wave facility in the world. We can generate an extreme Category 5.
I know, Mr. Serna. They can't say this is conspiracy theory. This is an American university telling us we have the science to create a mass hurricane, one that we just experienced in Jamaica, didn't we? Didn't we just experience a mass Cat 5 hurricane, a Cat 5 upper, a Cat 5?
Be crazy if Hurricane Melissa.
Cat 5 high end with wind speed we've never seen before. Shouldn't these things be questioned? Extreme Category 5. Shouldn't these things be questioned? Are we going to continue to blame God, climate change, and nature? When these demons, the barbarians, are telling us we have the capability to weaponize wind and water. But we're going to go, no, let's go first to hidden in plain sight. Hidden in plain sight from no other than Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Where is hidden in plain sight? Here is hidden in plain sight. Bear with me this morning. We're going to, listen, the images of Jamaica has now done to me what the images of Palestine did to me in 2023, where there came a point when I could barely look at the images because of psychological reasons. I have gotten to this point on the images coming out of Jamaica. But I have a few images of Black River to show. Lord Jesus, Donald Trump and Andrew Holness on the fuck way up. Donald Trump and Andrew Holness on a fuck way up good this time. But let me shock you, both of you. What you wanted was bodies piling up. You want us to see something we have never fucking seen before. Yes, we saw the wind and rain and the destruction we've never seen before. You wanted us to see dead bodies after dead bodies after dead bodies piling up in our country. And that I did the plan. You want to shock the psyche. Because it was said, in a burial, shut we down before the storm hit. Did you all not? We barely saw any images of Beryl in her action. You all allowed us to see it this time in real time at a more ferocious level. Psychology at work. Because no one panic the people then. We don't want them to make sure no say you are not safe here. Hidden in plain sight. Let's go to hidden in plain sight. Jesus have mercy. I am stressed by my people. Because you see, a lot of we are going dead. A lot of us are going to die because we refuse to think critically. we refuse to open ourselves up to new information. A lot of us think it's just God. It's just normal. Jamaica has done so much wicked things that God must punish us. The wicked thing we want to talk about are the high and mighty them will build a house on the hill. We now get the ferocious battering where we are get. Those who can repair overnight and rebuild overnight what we can do. Those are the people who are carrying out the wickedness in our country. Those who have the blood altar, the politician and the business people with the blood altar, the private sector. Those are the people. But because them use religion and fool and control on accept say God is punishing me because I'm evil. Not that because America is wicked, you see. Not because America is wicked, but because you, the people, are wicked and God is punishing you. Isn't that what they told us about Haiti? Because the people are wicked, God is punishing them, but not that America continue to use these same atmospheric assault on Haiti. Andrew Willis will come tell you things. Them are going to tell we say them going to have to demolish Black River because of where we bomber blood clot are. We now go can sustain not even a tropical storm. So they're going to have to demolish it. And they don't have to rebuild it. Only people so lose on the land, you know. We're telling them to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Hidden in plain sight. Let's go to hidden in plain sight. I'm so fucking angry. I am so angry. I mean, if you could see feathers or if you could see hot air, you would see them growing out of me. I am angry because our people are going to lose their lives and their land. And they're going to blame God. And they're going to blame nature. Not their wicked prime minister. Not the wicked Americans. Not the wicked private investors. No, not them. Hidden in plain sight.
You can now start to make sense of why it is that we are making certain massive investments in the parish.
Sorry, my peeps. This is a bit low. But I hope you can hear. And I'm going to see if I contain my anger and making talk. I want to open your ears and listen carefully. Because he explained all of Melissa. The Prime Minister explained Melissa July when he go down a Black River weeks after he go cut the KFC when KFC up in about 3 weeks before. He go down about 3 weeks after. And he go cut the ribbon, and he turn up and he talk. At them time, then talk about the bridge when me tackle him about it. But listen, he explained Melissa. Then, Sharon, you not have none of your contact them at town. None of your contact them from your previous employment where anywhere across the country where online where you can. We need to find out how much people dead at St. Elizabeth. We need to find out. Yes, me know it's a road mash up and road black, but Lord God Almighty, I'm confused. Hidden in plain sight. Let's go back to hidden in plain sight. Andrew Holness explained all of Melissa to us in July. This is what you call hidden in plain sight. Me take him on the bridge part because the part that it confused me when he said them are going to move the bridge And we're going to end up in a Hodges when we hidden in plain sight.
You can now start to make sense of why it is that we are making certain massive investments in the parish, which would include the bypass for Spur Tree to go down, and then the bypass to get to here, which will effectively bypass Santa Cruz. It will involve the development of South Coast tourism, because we have a product here that is really great, and we need to maximize that tourism product. And then we have a massive investment in irrigating the plains here. We have launched the Pedram Plains Irrigation Project, which is now underway. So we're focusing on the agricultural potential of the parish, and that will essentially take water from the Black River. But for this town of Black River, you have so much history, so many heritage buildings, that it pains my heart when I hear that the buildings, some of them have suffered from fire. Some of them have been destroyed by fire. And I would make an appeal to the residents of Black River, to those who own some of these historic buildings. If you know what I know, you would preserve those buildings.
If you know what I know, Lord Jesus, this morning, can I really contain my anger? Can I really this morning contain the rage?
Preserve them, because very soon they are going to be exceptional in value. Now, I was very instrumental in the approval for the medical school that is here. Something that we have not taken advantage of, but we should, is education tourism. And we're going to target this part of Jamaica.
Hey! Jesus, this morning.
Education tourism.
Education tourism. We're going to target is the word. Target. Target!
Underway.
Can talk again. You know, the hurtful part of it is those who sit there clapping. You know, so much of us Jamaicans are just sitting waiting to die. That is so sad. When we came to earth to live, we came to earth to live. And so much of us are just waiting to die. I don't get it.
You can now start to make sense
May I go shut up?
of why it is that we are making certain massive investments in the parish, which would include the bypass for Spur Tree to go down, and then the bypass to get to here, which will effectively bypass Santa Cruz. It will involve the development of South Coast tourism, because we have a product here that is really great, and we need to maximize that tourism product. And then we have a massive investment in irrigating the plains here. We have launched the Pedram Plains Irrigation Project, which is now underway. So we're focusing on the agricultural potential of the parish, and that will essentially take water from the Black River. But for this town of Black River, you have so much history, so many heritage buildings, that it pains my heart when I hear that the buildings, some of them have suffered from fire. Some of them have been destroyed by fire. And I would make an appeal to the residents of Black River, to those who own some of these historic buildings. If you know what I know, you would preserve those buildings. preserve them, because very soon they are going to be exceptional in value. Now, I was very instrumental in the approval for the medical school that is here. Something that we have not taken advantage of, but we should, is education tourism. And we're going to target this part of Jamaica for that new industry, education tourism. So, in the next chapter of our development, in our new term that is fast approaching, you can look out for individual parish development plans that will be done in such a way that the residents participate in it, the stakeholders participate in it, but you're going to see strategic and direct infusion of investments in such a way as to improve the quality of life of the people, to provide the infrastructure that they need, to create the business environment, and ultimately to give the people the ability to live and earn where, well, to live and work and earn where they live. It is going to call for a new type of thinking.
That's how the 15-minute city works, my peeps.
It is going to call for a new type of thinking from the Chamber of Commerce and the business people. And this obviously must include the spaces where we all come and interact, the markets and town centers, because we're going to have to restructure those areas as well. So
restructure
the bright future that we have always wanted, because you have a government that is dealing with the economy in the proper way, and we are taking the resources from the economy to deal with the issues that you want to be addressed. And once you do that, then it supports an even stronger economy from which we can get more resources to deal with the issues that affect you, thereby creating the virtuous cycle of growth and development. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was indeed my pleasure to deliver the KFC lecture.
How disgraceful. He really called it a KFC lecture. Dr. Andrew Holness giving a KFC lecture in Black River. You couldn't make it up for the most brilliant novel if you can. What Andrew Holness just explained to you is the sustainable development growth cities, the 15-minute cities where you live, work, and earn, and everything within 15 minutes of you. But after clotting us twice, Black River cannot just be repaired, mind you. Black River will have to be rebuilt, and you cannot rebuild Black River on top of rubbles. Can you? You are going to have to demolish Black River and a lot of its surrounding and rebuild the city. People of Jungle, people of Lagwood, people of Heavisand, and possibly a lot of you in Newtown. They are possibly coming for your land. They're going to come back, you know. They're going to come back because the flattening that they hope to achieve, they did not. I mean, they did us bad. They did us bad. But what they want to see was a flattening of the country with bodies after bodies pile up that shock the psyche of Jamaicans wherever we are this morning, especially those of us in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, to the point where we would want to move away from the South Coast. That is the intention. Have they achieved it? I would say no. And because of that, they will be coming back. What will it be this time if they have created the most powerful hurricane they can? Turn it up a notch, they did. It didn't do the intended job. What next possible that we can use to show them that we want back this piece of land? It's a rich piece of land. It's one of Jamaica, about 20 miles worth of coastline that private sectors do not own. It's residentially owned by the people. We want it, said them and the private investors. Let's go into a plethora of information relating to Sharp and their atmospheric research and all their possibilities. We're going to have quite a bit of information around this, but it's important to listen and stop walk and blame God. My church, my Seventh-day Adventist church, Party Seaside Seventh-day Adventist church, didn't spare the battering either, because we're right on the beach there. And boy, did the church take a battering. If God is angry with the people, something wrong with Unodonga church there, just ask him. Because you all are blaming God. And you all are saying it's because you all are wicked why God is punishing you. I mean, the biblical bullshit. Harp.
Okay, we need to talk about what's happening in Jamaica right now, because nobody is talking about the coincidence, the shocking coincidence that Jamaica signed on to do and now is experiencing this Category 5 hurricane that's wiped out the frickin' island. My thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected, and now let's get into it. So did you know that Jamaica signed on to something called Vision 2030, where they want to change a lot of how Jamaica was, and they have all these fancy buzzwords, but what it really is surveillance, smart grid, smart technology, smart city. Kind of like what happened in Hawaii. As you can see on the website, you see the Sustainable Development Goals. That's Agenda 21. Now, Agenda 21, as we know, is the shocking agenda to do a lot of things to all the countries in the world, which seem good on the surface. Equality, diversity, inclusion, when it really comes down to surveillance, control, and basically a prison without bars, controlled by AI. Jamaica has a comprehensive plan for smart city development, including a new city project. Well, how are you going to build a new city where there already is one? Oh, what happened to Maui? What happened to other places that had a smart city plan? What happened, the other thing I was thinking too is, what happened to the hurricane that blew into South Carolina, where they found a massive lithium deposit and then a hurricane wiped out the whole area and they're telling people they can't build there anymore? Vision 2030 Jamaica, absolutely shocking. The plan to test and implement smart technologies. Improve your quality of life. Yeah, talk to a robot every frickin' day. Real lifestyle quality there, dude.
Remember the robot dogs they spoke to us about the other day? Hey, Jamaica people, you see if we don't wake up? Jamaica people, you see if we don't, make up play this again. God, we don't love to blame God. We don't need to listen. It is happening. Remember me that teach geopolitics on Friday night time, and nobody wants to hear geopolitics. Look how much people up on the platform as geopolitics. Everybody jump off. Can nobody not concerned? If no me telling us say it's a cobweb. We're not just waiting to die. That's the hurtful part. We're not just waiting to die.
Okay, we need to talk about what's happening in Jamaica right now, because nobody is talking about the coincidence, the shocking coincidence that Jamaica signed on to do and now is experiencing this Category 5 hurricane that's wiped out the frickin' island. My thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected, And now let's get into it. So did you know that Jamaica signed on to something called Vision 2030, where they want to change a lot of how Jamaica was, and they have all these fancy buzzwords, but what it really is surveillance, smart grid, smart technology, smart city. Kind of like what happened in Hawaii. As you can see on the website, you see the Sustainable Development Goals. That's Agenda 21. Now, Agenda 21, as we know, is the shocking agenda to do a lot of things to all the countries in the world, which seem good on the surface. Equality, diversity, inclusion, when it really comes down to surveillance, control, and basically a prison without bars, controlled by AI. Jamaica has a comprehensive plan for smart city development, including a new city project. Well, how are you going to build a new city where there already is one? Oh, what happened to Maui? What happened to other places that had a smart city plan? What happened, the other thing I was thinking too is, what happened to the hurricane that blew into South Carolina, where they found a massive lithium deposit and then a hurricane wiped out the whole area and they're telling people they can't build there anymore? Vision 2030 Jamaica, absolutely shocking. The plan to test and implement smart technologies. Improve your quality of life. Yeah, talk to a robot every frickin' day. Real lifestyle quality there, dude. And then also, drive economic growth. Do you mean economic units, where they judge you based on carbon credits and there's no longer currency? Is this the whole plan? Let me know if you think this is just a shocking coincidence. But actually, I guess I didn't really say, how would a hurricane have anything to do with this plan? Unless, of course, you could do anything to modify the weather. But surely weather modification is totally fake and impossible, right? And it would never be used nefariously against innocent people. We'll talk more about that in the next one. Comment your thoughts below and follow for more. Okay, we need to talk about what's happening.
The more I look into this devastating hurricane that's happening in Jamaica right now, the more I start to raise some questions. Did you know that Jamaica is on the 2030 Smart City agenda? Who else is on that agenda? LA, before their forest fire, directed energy weapons. Sorry. Maui was also on that list before their forest fires that demolish everything in sight and don't burn the trees somehow. Then we have this natural disaster in Jamaica, because you can't really build smart cities on top of current foundation now, could you? This is the biggest hurricane that's ever hit Jamaica, by the way. This place is very close to my heart. You think that this is just natural, God's plan? Then your head's in the sand and has been for a long time. It's also super interesting, the Maui wildfires that happened. This red line here is where all the devastation was, and it's the exact same transit that their proposed railway was for their smart city. What a shocking coincidence. Now look, guys, this is engineered 100%. Don't care what you think, it is. The thing that they don't want us to know is that we as a collective can cancel all of this shit out. We can abolish the parasites that are doing these things. They fear the day that we come together and we start working in unity. We start manifesting as a collective. If everyone in the world would sit together right now in silence and start putting our good thoughts into creating a new world for ourselves, then it would absolutely happen. The parasites cannot manifest. That's why they put all these ideas into the collective consciousness, because we hold the matrix up like glue. Now I'm praying for Jamaica. I'm sending my good energy and all of my beautiful thoughts that way. And everyone watching this should too. If you don't know what HARP is, look up HARP. If you don't know what geoengineering is, look up geoengineering. These are man-made events, all with a plan to further their agenda. Now let's keep our thoughts and prayers with Jamaica, and let's manifest a better future. Peace and love. But the more
Right. Let's move on to another clip concerning Sharp. I'll leave that video for now. I'll go back to the Prime Minister in a bit.
have a new smart city land clearing operation going on. This time it's in Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa, the fastest growing hurricane ever. Hurricane Melissa is now stronger than Hurricane Katrina. The slow moving Category 5 hurricane is forecasted to dump several feet of rain on New Kingston, aka New Jamaica, which is already slated to be a smart city. That's 8 billion reasons to send a Harpo-cane to Jamaica. Looks like we have a new smart city land clearing operation going on. This time it's
Smart city land clearing operation. A smart city land clearing operation.
I'm now convinced that there's...
Hold on, let me see if I played this already. Land clearing, Prime Minister.
Now convinced that there's something weird going on with the hurricane in Jamaica, and let me explain to you why. You know, whenever I post a video and I see like a crazy influx of, like, you know, I don't want to just say bots, but a lot of them are bots, but like a crazy amount, a more than average amount of people trying to discredit what I said, it's so obvious. Anyways, you guys, you know, everyone's saying that I'm just, you know, an idiot and I don't understand how hurricanes work. No, you're right. I'm sure the government would spend billions of dollars on a technology and then never use it. I'm sure that's what a government would do, for sure. Plus, I mean, my girl, my old friend Ariana Masters has already pointed out that the storm literally went off radar for a while. That is not normal, you fucks. And meanwhile, I mean, here's further proof that they're fucking with, like, that they just continue to fuck with me in this account. Look at what they did when I'm trying to like a comment on my own video. Literally foaming at the mouth over here. Anyways, yeah, like you can see what the comment says too. Kind of interesting. Instagram won't let me like it, but whatever, moving on. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. There's nothing to see here. It's just weather being weather, and I'm crazy. We're all crazy. Oh, and lastly, on top of all of that, you had Google AI accurately predicting this hurricane 2 months ago. So, by the way, North Carolina, South Carolina, get ready, because you guys are next.
So today we're going to hit on the hurricane.
Sorry. When a madness doesn't matter, it's when there's no reason or there's no method to the madness. But there's a reason and a method for the madness that they're conducting against us at the moment. The more information to be forewarned is to be forearmed. If you don't know, you cannot protect yourself. If you don't know, you cannot stand up for your life or for your society or for your land and your wealth. It's our inheritance. We're going to lose our inheritance. And when we talk, say Floyd Green and Andrew Hearn just sell us out. Southwest St. Elizabeth people, them and party people, them want to come at me. When me tell them, say Floyd Green and Andrew Holness selling out. On no seat for yourself now. Them go demolish Black River. Only pound now go move. We're not go have access to city and services. Santa Cruz demolished too. Hey.
So today we're going to hit on the Hurricane Melissa climate change narrative and also how Jamaica is meant to be a smart city. and this hurricane just came to hit it. So look at this. Look at this radar right here. Yeah, that doesn't really add up with what storms look like. Then it gets weirder when I find this hurricane and tornado control device patent with a ground-based unit right here, controlling the weather. Why would this be approved by the US government? Then I find this one, method for controlling hurricanes. A method for controlling hurricanes by raising the temperature of the eye using airplanes. You see? And someone would say, but the government shut down. They can't be doing that. Look at this, CIA Project Nile Blue when they flooded Cuba to get them off the sugar crops. Then it gets even deeper when you find Project Cirrus and the US Navy messing with hurricanes and flooding towns. Isn't that weird? And it's the same dates as these dates today. Then it gets really weird when you find out if they reset the town, they can push digital IDs. And look at the date of this, September 30th, and this event just ended October 3rd. Just before this. It also gets weirder when you've been finding out they've been dimming the sun, but they're going to sell them solar panels. So on that note, you might want to look into the whole Smart City Agenda 2030, all the list of cities. The list of cities always get hit with a hurricane or a fire or something, and then they rebuild them, and then they give them George Orwell 1984 with a digital ID and a social credit score in a 15-minute city. And on the last note, when you comment on these weather people who are on YouTube, they ban you when you talk about this topic. So people need to be aware of who's in the club. So today we're going to hit on the hurricane.
Months ago, I gave you certain things to read. George Orwell 1984 was one. Animal Farm was the other. And the Pact for the Future, which is on the United Nations website, was the third. Have you really read them? Have you really read them? Let's play this again before we go back to the Prime Minister.
So today we're going to hit on the Hurricane Melissa climate change narrative and also how Jamaica is meant to be a smart city. And this hurricane just came to hit it. So look at this. Look at this radar right here. Yeah, that doesn't really add up with what storms look like. Then it gets weirder when I find this hurricane and tornado control device patent with a ground-based unit right here, controlling the weather. Why would this be approved by the US government? Then I find this one, method for controlling hurricanes. A method for controlling hurricanes by raising the temperature of the eye using airplanes. You see? And someone would say, but the government shut down. They can't be doing that. Look at this, CIA Project Nile Blue when they flooded Cuba to get them off the sugar crops. Then it gets even deeper when you find Project Cirrus and the US Navy messing with hurricanes and flooding towns. Isn't that weird? And it's the same dates as these dates today. Then it gets really weird when you find out if they reset the town, they can push digital IDs. And look at the date of this, September 30th, and this event just ended October 3rd. Just before this. It also gets weirder when you've been finding out they've been dimming the sun, but they're going to sell them solar panels. So on that note, you might want to look into the whole Smart City Agenda 2030, all the list of cities. The list of cities always get hit with a hurricane or a fire or something, and then they rebuild them, and then they give them George Orwell 1984 with a digital ID and a social credit score in a 15-minute city. And on the last note, when you comment on these weather people who are on YouTube, they ban you when you talk about this topic. So people need to be aware of who's in the club. So today we're going to hit on the hurricane.
Sorry. I asked myself the question, if the People's National Party won the election, would they carry out the upcoming agenda? My argument is yes, it has already been signed off on. Mark Golding would have a choice of carrying out the agenda, and you are being assassinated or overthrown, and a new person taking the reins, who will carry out the agenda? This is an international agenda. This is not an agenda directed by your prime minister. Your prime minister, as executive for the organization Jamaica, it's carrying out the orders of its employers rather.
If you're Jamaican and you got affected by HARP, and I said HARP because HARP is an organization who controls the weather and could send hurricanes wherever they want to send them. Okay, if you have land, do not sell it. You're going to have a bunch of Europeans, a bunch of Dubaians, Arabs, and a bunch of Jewish people coming down there trying to buy off the land so they could create that smart city close to Kingston. Now, and your holiness and
your land titles. I wonder how much people land titles get blown away. And I wonder if the title office is going to be hacked and a lot of information get wiped from the system, you see. What do you think? I wonder how much people titled get ravished by my girl then. And I wonder if the title office, Bobby Montague, is going to be hacked. And a lot of information by hackers are going to be wiped off the system. And because you said, Melissa went with your title. Melissa went with your title, didn't she? And the hackers, oh my God, it is so common. I have been warning of this for quite some time. To see it approaching so fast, and the people are still refusing to even listen.
if you're Jamaican and you got affected by HARP, and I said HARP because HARP is an organization who controls the weather and could send hurricanes wherever they want to send them. Okay, if you have land, do not sell it. You're going to have a bunch of Europeans, a bunch of Dubaians, Arabs, and a bunch of Jewish people coming down there trying to buy off the land so they could create that smart city close to Kingston. Now, and your holiness and the governor general who's connected to the royal family in England, all of them are in on all of this stuff. So when foreign aids come to Jamaica, if you take it, your land will be taken over. If foreign aids come to Jamaica and you accept all the help, they will come and infiltrate and they will take over your land and they will disperse a bunch of local Jamaicans. IDK where sometimes they even kidnap them, take them places, and they never return. So remember, Jamaicans, hold on to your land. Don't.
During the UFO hearing, a lot of information came out that when there are disasters of such, they have, because we saw them do it in Haiti, but with real vehicles, but they have unidentified flying vehicles that they go into these disaster zones and they kidnap children and take them to their wherever they want to. But two do not believe in the UFO and not follow the whole international aspect of things and global geopolitics. Oh dear. Hold on there, my peeps. Hold on there, my peeps. Where is the next video? down there. Hold on for me. Where is she? Yes. Engineering. Melissa engineered reset.
If I told you Hurricane Melissa did not form, it was detonated. 185 mile per hour winds, pressure 892 MB. Satellite data showed electromagnetic pre-ignition burst 6 hours before it hit. That was not weather, it was a broadcast. Look, back in 2003, the U.S. Patent Office approved patent number US 20030085296A1, a device to manipulate hurricanes using acoustic resonance. Sound waves lead to condensed vapors that lead to steer destruction. Melissa followed that exact signature. Symmetrical eye, asymmetrical thermal build, velocity spike, exponential, not meteorological. This storm was coded, not created, but executed. A storm that's engineered can be aimed. Comment scroll if you feel this in your body. $33 scroll scan equals your personal override protocol. No more guesswork, only clarity. Look, Jamaica is not random. It sits on a ley line node, a planetary energy gate connecting to the Atlantean corridor. When the storm hit, Vision 2030 launched. UN Smart City, biometric ID rollout, AI surveillance grid, same hour, same zone. And I bet you didn't even know that Melissa means messenger. This wasn't just weather, it was ritual infrastructure reset. Look, old Jamaica was organic. New Jamaica, fully coded. Drop scroll below if your nervous system knows this was never about rain. The scroll scan decodes your role in this frequency war. In scroll law, when a storm becomes too perfect, it turns on itself. Melissa was not just a weapon, it was a mirror gate, a failed mimic ritual disguised as climate. Your dizziness, your heart racing, your emotional spikes, yeah, they're sinking to the planetary hydrosphere over.
That is one of the things that is coming through from the survivors of this aerial bombardment we've just undergo. One of my cousins, he got a message out to one of my other cousins somewhere in London. He's in London here. Panic. He's panicking. He is panicking. It's natural in this thing, but it's the assault and the attack carried out on us by the Americans, agreed by our Prime Minister of Jamaica, Minister of Agriculture, Flight Green and Tufton. The whole on us sell we out. The whole on us willing to kill we off. The whole on us put we head on a platter. To join the one world government, the one world government order. Jamaica is going through an experiment at the moment. We've been warning you from COVID that Jamaica is undergoing an experiment. You see the drastic changes in our Prime Minister, and you still refuse to listen.
If I told you Hurricane Melissa did not form, it was detonated. 185 mile per hour winds, pressure 892 MB. Satellite data showed electromagnetic pre-ignition burst 6 hours before it hit. That was not weather, it was a broadcast. Look, back in 2003, the U.S. Patent Office approved patent number US 20030085296A1, a device to manipulate hurricanes using acoustic resonance. Sound waves lead to condensed vapors that lead to steer destruction. Melissa followed that exact signature. Symmetrical eye, asymmetrical thermal build, velocity spike, exponential, not meteorological. This storm was coded, not created, but executed. A storm that's engineered can be aimed. Comment scroll if you feel this in your body. $33 scroll scan equals your personal override protocol. No more guesswork, only clarity. Look, Jamaica is not random. It sits on a ley line node, a planetary energy gate connecting to the Atlantean corridor. When the storm hit, Vision 2030 launched. UN Smart City, biometric ID rollout, AI surveillance grid, same hour, same zone. And I bet you didn't even know that Melissa means messenger. This wasn't just weather, it was ritual infrastructure reset. Look, old Jamaica was organic. New Jamaica, fully coded. Drop scroll below if your nervous system knows this was never about rain. The scroll scan decodes your role in this frequency war. In scroll law, when a storm becomes too perfect, it turns on itself. Melissa was not just a weapon, it was a mirror gate, a failed mimic ritual disguised as climate. Your dizziness, your heart racing, your emotional spikes, yeah, they're sinking to the planetary hydrosphere override. The grid is recalibrating. You're either in collapse or you're in command. There was never a timeline where you were not meant to see this. They patented the device. They launched the grid. They erased a nation, then replaced it with code. Still think it's just a storm? Then explain the patent. Explain the ley lines. Explain the Vision 2030 portal. You can't close the loop until you scan the scroll, and they're counting on that. What if I told you?
I'm just play the video phone and come go on my bed because this need bed. This need bed. Oh, this need bed. Tell me if this don't need bed.
Tell me that HAARP can't steer storms without telling me that Donald Trump is president. This is the third hurricane in a row that was supposed to whack the East Coast that all of a sudden took a 90-degree right-hand turn out into the middle of the ocean.
And then you're talking about North Carolina?
Imelda, yeah, Hurricane Imelda, just like the last two, came up, hard 90-degree turn out into the middle of the ocean. They're using HAARP to steer these storms. Well, then why did all the other storms hit the continental U.S.? You got to ask yourself, who was running HAARP back then?
So what is HAARP, real quick? I guess I'm not real familiar with it, but that's something to...
High altitude atmospheric radar. I can't remember the acronym. You're beaming high energy radar into the upper atmosphere in order to change the air currents. The Air Force has been working on weather modification since it was founded back in the 1950s or late 40s. It's something, weather modification is something that is a strategic asset that we have been working on. And that's what the HAARP array is. It's an array of radar up in Alaska. And the theory is that they can change the path of storms by changing the jet stream. Based on, go look at the last three storm tracks. A hurricane almost never takes a 90-degree turn, much less three in a row. Tell me.
Now, HAARP. HAARP is the High Frequency Activity Aerial Research Program, and that is done by the Alaska University. Just like the HIV, where they cuss me about every day, we're creating at the Maryland University military lab. Yeah, hold on there. Biological warfare, atmospheric.
The reality about the cat bond. Under.
You have many warfares. You have the conventional warfare, where you fire weapons at each other, the blood and gore warfare. You have biological warfare that comes to medicine and all of those economics and all of that. You have chemical warfare as well. That is also used in these type of conventional warfare situation where they can spray a chemical on you, or they can rub something on your door and you touch your door and box your uncle. You also have what is called the weaponization of food and water and all of that. Many different of it. But, listen to this.
The reality about the cat bond.
Under Dr. Nigel Clark, who was Minister of Finance and the Public Service in Jamaica, Jamaica took out a catastrophe bond. It then renewed that bond, and I'm going to read exactly what was this bond, how it works. I know we've seen reports coming out of Jamaica about Unleash It. So it says Jamaica's catastrophe bond is globally pioneering the cat in a grid trigger approach, as we are the first in the world to use this. So Jamaica is the first in the world to use a cat in a grid trigger approach. The cat in a grid trigger places a grid over Jamaica and surrounding waters, with each grid having a centralized air pressure threshold. Payout is triggered if a hurricane passes through a grid and has centralized air pressure at or below the threshold for that grid. Note, the lower the centralized air pressure, the higher the intensity of the hurricane. Hurricane Melissa was below 900 millibars, so it's one of the strongest hurricanes in history. Okay, so I believe it's number two, silver medal. Right? The size of the payout is related to how many such grids are breached. So it's a granular approach, but the more grids that are breached, is the more money that gets paid out to Jamaica. So of course, what are some of these grids, the pressures? So what they said is that each of these grids is associated with a centralized air pressure threshold. For instance, the threshold applicable to grids 5, 6, and 7. Of course, I would want to know where is grids 5, 6, and 7. But 5, 6, and 7 is Montego Bay and then going east. So we're looking at Montego Bay out to St. Anne's Bay, right? So those are 5, 6, and 7. So this is an example. The grids 5, 6, and 7 and 8. 958 millibars, 945 millibars, 947 and 932 millibars. So that gives you an idea. All of the grids, from what I can see, were above 900. The lowest I'm seeing in here is 920 millibars to trigger a payout. So we have to understand where we're going. Jamaica took out insurance, and that insurance is now going to flow. The reality about the cat bond. Under Dr. Nigel Clark, who was Minister of Finance and the Public Service in Jamaica, Jamaica took out a catastrophe bond. It then renewed that bond, and I'm going to read exactly what was this bond, how it works. I know we've seen reports coming out of Jamaica about Unleash It. So it says Jamaica's catastrophe bond is globally pioneering the cat in a grid trigger approach, as we are the first in the world to use this. So Jamaica is the first in the world to use a cat in a grid trigger approach. The cat in a grid trigger places a grid over Jamaica and surrounding waters, with each grid having a centralized air pressure threshold. Payout is triggered if a hurricane passes through a grid and has centralized air pressure at or below the threshold for that grid. Note, the lower the centralized air pressure, the higher the intensity of the hurricane. Hurricane Melissa was below 900 millibars, so it's one of the strongest hurricanes in history. Okay, so I believe it's number two, silver medal. Right? The size of the payout is related to how many such grids are breached. So it's a granular approach, but the more grids that are breached, is the more money that gets paid out to Jamaica. So of course, what are some of these grids, the pressures? So what they said is that each of these grids is associated with a centralized air pressure threshold. For instance, the threshold applicable to grids 5, 6, and 7. Of course, I would want to know where is grids 5, 6, and 7. But 5, 6, and 7 is Montego Bay and then going east. So we're looking at Montego Bay out to St. Anne's Bay, right? So those are 5, 6, and 7. So this is an example. The grids 5, 6, and 7 and 8. 958 millibars, 945 millibars, 947 and 932 millibars. So that gives you an idea. All of the grids, from what I can see, were above 900. The lowest I'm seeing in here is 920 millibars to trigger a payout. So we have to understand where we're going. Jamaica took out insurance, and that insurance is now going to flow to the government of Jamaica and allow them to speed up the recovery. Now, here's the reality about the cat.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people day. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rob and cheat, and not first and for make out what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might show us stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open.
Globalist, I'm here, I'm okay. I'm just talking to my brother. He finally got through to us. Just bear with me.
Come with I. Rasta man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people day. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, Wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat. And not first and four. Make God what I seen to. Big man throw and stone. And they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw and stone. And it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they didn't can sell out Rasta, can't sell it out, I sell out Babylon. Big man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. Rasta, I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You must show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big man Joe and Stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man Joe and Stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Rasta man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people day. Big man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and four. Make God what I seen to. Big man throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they didn't can sell out Rasta, can't sell it out, I sell out Babylon. Big man throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta. I sell a house, I sell out Babylon. Yes, don't on the right. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rasta man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta. I sell a house, I sell out Babylon. Yes, don't on the right. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling and say, President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big him and Joe one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big him and Joe one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman Joe one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make God what I seen him.
Globalist, I'm terribly sorry to have you hanging. I was in the family WhatsApp group. My brother has just finally called. Jesus Christ. In go over Marcelvin. Marcelvin had generator and Wi-Fi. We community mash up. Mash up. Mash up, road, bus up, majority building, get damage. If you see cars, you can just lift them up and pick them up like one little thing, so then get, instead vehicle get lift up and thrown all over the place, containers. The frightening part of it though, because this frightens my younger brother as well. The frightening part of it, we live down a seaside on a shoreline. My two line of family where me always a quarrel said them say evacuate. That was the major concern. But there's a neighboring community called Spice Grove, and our community where my mother house presently is now called Springfield. The tidal surge came that far inland, almost drowned people in Spice Grove. Did you hear what I said? The tidal surge came more than a mile inland. In the community of Parity, tidal surge came as far as Springfield and Spice Grove. The road is covered over by sand. Instead of going to Black Rock, as one guy will have one grader backhoe galang in Panside, he came and cleared the road from Parity to Black River, but the road bust up massively in Parity in two places. The Parity Seventh-day Adventist Church on the coastline, they bust up. But in St. Elizabeth, you wouldn't recognize St. Elizabeth. He said everything mash up. He said him not say how it a go rebuild, but that's the agenda, you see. That's the agenda, to demolish Southwest St. Elizabeth. So far, they haven't heard of any loss of life in the neighboring communities around, but they still haven't verified everybody yet, so we still don't know. But him said the community, Black River, he said Black River is just rubbles and looting at the moment. One could understand it's not about supporting, but even the little food that you purchase to tide you over, even that was washed away. So it's normal that people would want to salvage whatever they can until relief come from Kingston and such a like. Because it's even the container where you hear the mayor talk about, it's containers and canoes lift up and fly like paper. It's the house them will have the shingle top. Some of them, the shingle them fly off. My sister house and a brother house next door, a few shingle fly off. But the neighbor next door, a lot of fear fly off. Then my cousin next door is the only person on that stretch who have zinc, and her house top is the only one that got saved. My mother house top flew off as well. Glass bust up. So one of our neighbor get damaged by nail as well, but there was no access to bring him to hospital or anything, so them have to do community treatment and all of that. But instead of community house, there are certain houses which are no more. There are a lot though, which especially on the coastline, because the tidal surge take away so much of the sand, because all our we used to drive Pansia Road now, all of that becomes sand. The tidal surge was the scariest spot where the tidal surge went more than a mile inland. Way more than a mile inland, because from the coastline to Spice Grove and Springfield, that's a hell of a way inland. People in Spice Grove, when the tidal surge came, the water came up to people's neck. So all who was on the if the mandatory evacuation order didn't came through, which I criticized the Prime Minister on, even though I agreed with it, because it should have come much earlier. We still don't know, because I was told that a family member of mine, that's cousin Jamie's aunt, she refused to evacuate. Another community member, what we call King, tell my brother, say if him couldn't swim, because them people is, them and fish have the same interaction when in the sea. Very good swimmers. That saved his life. We don't know yet what happened, because them still going community by community, checking to see. A lot of those houses, Sharon, you're still there? Like out of Basil, there's a list to one side towards the sea, because the sea, the powerful force that the sea come with, it take away all of the sun. But the tidal surge all the way into Springfield and Spice Grove. That is frightening. Me not telling a lie. Because say the mandatory evacuation didn't come through, my entire mother and father side a generation would just get wiped out. Would just get wiped out. That's why I tell the people them in my community, don't play with this thing. Tidal surge is very dangerous. And given what they planned for us, this is the Seventh-day Adventist Church right on the beach. It just broke up so. It just broke up so. Right on the beach front there. So just pick up car, towboat, containers, towboat, everything in the Black River just mash up. Road just bust up. The bridge, he said, is okay. Down what's you might call it? Down at the whole crocodile tour. And he said that is another problem. Where crocodile are gonna name them off because everybody and crocodile interact together, you know, because tame as them be, them tame to who work with them. And them depend the move, you know. So NEPA you always a one way. NEPA, we don't need to go down there with helicopter. Let me say this. I am from St. Elizabeth. We used to fishing on the Pedro Banks, 100 miles southwest of Jamaica. When we used to fall ill or there's any emergency, the Coast Guard speedboat or the Coast Guard helicopter would come for us there and take us to KPH. If we fall sick and have like an emergency, somebody gets stabbed or whatever, the Coast Guard, Jamaica Coast Guard, have helicopters for over 40 years now. It's not anything new. That's what support St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland and all of that, the hard-hit part of the country, need at the moment. Aerial support in food and medicine, mattress, tents, and blankets must be moved in now until we can quickly clear and restructure quickly our roadways so we can bring lumbers across the country to rebuild the people. But then again, if them are going to tell us that they have to demolish and move on because of such you like and such you like, honestly, the fuckery what we get ourselves in, people, because we won't wake up. We over TikTok with Rosalie and the series and all the fuckers and of entertainment and the life-threatening disaster. The life-threatening disaster that's coming our way. To put them never enforce that evacuation. There would be nobody in party to mourn. A Jamaica would have a mourn for party. And we in the diaspora would have a mourn for party because our entire community would have been wiped out. Wiped out. They're coming for the coastline. Me tell you, last year, the 5th of July. And they're going to come back again. It's a clearing. Jamaica, Me stress, but a little bit of me stress alleviate because me hear from my brother and my community. And even though we don't know yet, we don't hear about no loss of life in our community, we still a touch with and keep our finger crossed. So we account for everybody. The work continues. Contacting Jamaica continues. We're calling on the government and the international community to swiftly assist Jamaica. We're calling on the Jamaica government and the international community to assist Jamaica. We're calling on the global south to assist Jamaica truly. We don't want nothing from dirty America. We don't want nothing from dirty America. We fire them pulse underwater weapon at we. We don't want nothing from Britain or America. We're tired of take the junk of them poison and then the drunk of them come back with bomb. The global south. Can you assist Jamaica? China. India, me not trust you, know. China. Russia. Nigeria. We not add the money. We can fly things 3 hours into Jamaica from Nigeria and Ghana. We are seeking help from the global south. We don't want nothing from Britain, Europe, and America. We're tired of the drunk of them, the Mother Teresaism from the drunk of them. Yes. We're tired of the Mother Teresaism from the drunk of them. So we're appealing to the global south to assist Jamaica in the relief effort and the rebuilding effort, particularly our schools and hospital and our roadways infrastructure. We need to get with people, they're moving back again. But I'm telling you, my people, when you listen, all your ears so. All your ears so, because they're going to tell us. And your prime minister is going to whittle and twiddle and wind around you to tell you that they will have to demolish Black River because the current infrastructure that we have cannot withstand blue de blanc and blah de blanc in the future. Thank you all very much for being here this morning. I hope the rest of you can hear from your family soon. And I hope the spirit and resilience of Jamaica can show America that firing your most powerful atmospheric assault at us will not, America, dampen our spirit. Thank you for being here this morning. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.